Hey, everybody. Money Matters with Hill Financial Group with your host, Mike Hill and Casey Harding. This is podcast number 2. As much as we probably messed up the last one, we're only going to do half the mistakes this time. So we're so excited. Anyway, but we're glad you're here to watch another episode. We wanted to just get something going straight out of the chute. We get asked all the time by our clients. We have a lot of clients. I'd say 85% of our clients are 55 and older. Mm-hmm. So we deal with a lot of clients in their 40s that were referred by their parents. But what's crazy now is we're getting a lot of referrals from the grandparents. Hey, can you help my grandson? He's got his first job. He's wanting to save up some money. He doesn't know how to do it. So we kind of wanted to focus on that today because we have a lot of podcasts that we're going to do for retirees. And this is one of them as well. But the question we get asked a lot, because we have a lot of great grandparents out there, and I mean great as in great people, grandparents, is how would you advise my grandson or granddaughter who's about to start a family in their 20s and even early 30s, how would you advise them to invest for today and beyond? So I'm going to hit my partner up. Casey, you got a 25-year-old in here that has more money than he's ever had in his life, and he's wanting to go look at Corvettes.
Yeah.
You know, even though he's got $100,000 in student loan debt, you know, what would you advise? What would you tell that person that's starting out? How would you get that investment going to build up wealth for later?
For sure. Thanks, Mike. I mean, the biggest thing is starting early. Whatever that amount is, just getting it going and creating that habit of saving towards retirement every month. It could be as little as $50, but it's working with them and figuring out what their budget is. And so we want to try to maximize that as best we can. I think it's important that you pay yourself first. As a believer, I think you pay the Lord first, but then you pay yourself maybe second. But that's just kind of my mentality and my philosophy of wanting to help people. And we just have to figure out what that number is. But it's amazing to see, if we just start with $50 a month, if we compound that out over, 30, 40 years, what that could turn into.
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. I mean, it just hit. And I'm doing these podcasts and we don't ever get a chance to just sit down and just talk about our philosophy all the time as much as I'd like to. So this is making me do it. But yeah. He said saving is a habit. And so you young couples, which y'all are younger than me, my kids are 22 and 19. So I'm a little bit past. But young couples, there is a time, and there's a picture on my Facebook page of me going to read at my daughter's first grade class, and the book that I chose to read is Saving is a Habit, Sammy Rabbit. So it's a book about a rabbit that saved carrots, all that. But man, my daughters got sick of hearing saving is a habit. Yeah. Sick. I don't know if they do. God bless them. I mean, but I hope they're saving. I know they are, but a little bit more could be better. But I know starting early and doing it often. The other story that I have personally is I'll never forget this. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I had a football scholarship to go to Stephen F. Austin, blew that, but had way too much fun in Nacogdoches, or Nowhere is what we called it back then. But a little small tidbit is I was going off to college. My dad sat me down and he goes, "Son, you're a millionaire." And I'm just, man, all right, what am I going to college for? I mean, he got me hook, line, and sinker. I'm like, all right, 18 years old. I mean, I knew this was happening. Dad, you had to have some money stashed that I didn't know about. So you waited till I was 18 years old to tell me about me being a millionaire that you're going to give to me now. Man, you are the best dad ever. And he turns around, gets on his big old computer back then, big white computer, because it's 92. Yeah, I said 92. And he turns around and he does this print off. And I go, "What are you doing?" And it was y'all are all too young to remember. It was and it just printed out this long sheet of stuff. And I was like, "What is that?" He goes, "Now look, son, if you put in $50 a month and you just get the market return for the next till you're 59 years old, you will have $1,100,000 at 10% return per year." And I'm like, now I'm 50. I wish I would have done it and listened to it, but yes, I'll never forget. Oh my gosh, you're saying $50 a month would grow into that? Yeah, I've seen the spreadsheets. And again, not to steal the time, but True story. That kind of sunk in with me, and I think that's what got me going on this route to saving and investing. I was a bartender / waiter at College Station, and right next to NEFAS, there in College Station, there's a Bank of America. And a lot of kids don't know about it. Now we can do everything on our phone. Well, back then, I may or may not, after the shift, go out and have a little bit of fun with my friends. Okay. They would all make fun of me, though, because right next door, there is a Bank of America night deposit, ATM. So if I made $100 in tips, pay yourself first. I would put 20. They would go, are you really only going to deposit $20? Yeah. Yes, this is what I'm going to do. So when my kids say they can't do it, they know this story, they hate it. I would put $20 in the night deposit. True story. I graduated college. I had little to no debt. I did work a lot. But when I graduated college, I had about $7,000 saved up, and I lived in an apartment for 6 months. And at 23 years old, bought my first condo in Addison, Texas, with the money that I'd saved, waiting tables, putting in the night deposit. And then that house turned into my first house with my wife, and so on and so on. And we built equity. So you can do it. The people say that I don't make enough, or I only make $12 an hour. Hey, you got to have electricity. You got to have groceries. Saving, you are a bill. He said it 1,000%, Casey. You couldn't hit the nail on the head. You are a bill, and if you don't pay yourself like you pay electricity, guess what? You may have the lights on when you're 50 years old, but you won't have anything to enjoy it. So you can see all the stuff you don't have when you're 50 years old because the lights are paid, but you never paid yourself. So setting milestones was one that I'd written down for that question. I'm a real big practitioner. I love Dave Ramsey's rule where people that don't save a lot is the envelopes.
Yeah.
And so me and Casey, we always do plans. We do financial plans for every client that comes in. And when they come in, one of the things I tell them is on your savings account, don't call it savings. Call it Cancun. Call it Alaska. Because guess what? When you take money out of savings, you'll take money out of that savings account that doesn't have a name on it. But the one that says Cancun on it, you're like, no, we will eat ramen noodles if we have to for the next 7 days. If I'm not touching the Cancun savings. I'm telling, it could be a new couch. It could be a new car. Name that savings, the goal that you want to have for it. It works. It's a mental thing. You never touch it. Nobody touches it. So anyway, and then one of the things that I get all the time, and then I want to ask Casey this question, is because this is what will happen. I take all the microphone time. Is that we get people, what's the best retirement plan? I'm starting, I don't know what a 401k is. True story, it's called a 401k because on the tax code, it's on page 401, section K. That's why it's called a 401k. But 401k is a Roth IRA, a regular IRA, a blah, blah, blah IRA. So if somebody's walking in and they're 25 years old and their company offers a 401k, what would you be your retirement investment advice?
Yeah, well, always, if there is any sort of matching benefit, you're going to want to make sure you're maximizing that. So if you give a dollar and they're going to match you that dollar, you got to do that. So usually it's 3, 4, 5%. They're going to match you. So then your contribution needs to be at least 3, 4, or 5%.
And you're saying 3, 4, 5% of their salary?
Of their salary, that's right. So just maximizing what the employer, that's free money that the employer is giving to you. So you want to maximize that. So whatever that limit is, go up to that limit. Once that's done, then we're going to look at potentially doing Roth IRA contributions and contributing to something outside of your retirement plan if your budget allows. And so we work with you to make sure that we're doing those and we're taking advantage of every dollar and naming every dollar, going back to what Mike was talking about.
One of the things that I always get asked is, Mike, should I do a Roth IRA or regular IRA? So one of the things I want to ask Casey is that question, but I kind of want to give everybody, if you don't know this already, the difference between the two. Roth IRA was named after a senator in the early mid-90s out of Oregon named Name was Roth. He passed away, but he wanted people to have tax-free savings. This is how old I am. When it started, you can only put $2,000 in. I think it's $7,000.
It's $7,000 for 2025.
Okay, so you can put up to $7,000, and if you're 50 and older, I think you get to do $1,000 catch-ups up to $8,000. Okay, so a Roth IRA, it's tax-free. Every dollar you put in, you don't get a write-off. So if you make $100,000 and you put $7,000 in a Roth, you got to pay taxes on $100,000. But when you retire, when you take that money out after the age of 59 and a half, 100% of all growth and all distributions are tax-free. In an IRA, just like a 401k, you put the money in, you make $100,000, you put $7,000 into your IRA, you only have to pay taxes on 93. It's a write-off. You get to write it off directly off your taxes. And I know what people are saying, well, Mike, I get a standard deduction. This is separate than the $30,000 standard deduction that most married couples are going to get for $29,800, I think. But this is separate than the standard deduction. So you're gonna get the $7,000 that you get to write off. But at 59 and a half, whenever you take money out when you retire, it is 100% taxable. So what would make you, when somebody walks in, well, I like tax-free at retirement, but I need a write-off. What would make you suggest somebody maybe doing an IRA versus a Roth IRA?
Yeah. So, I mean, if they don't need the write-off, if they're, in a place where it will behoove them to do a Roth IRA contribution, getting that growing tax-free and be tax-free when you pull it out, that compounding interest, that is 100% where I'm going to go to first. The only reason I would say you don't do a Roth IRA would be if you need that tax reduction. If you need to lower your taxable income, then maybe we're doing a traditional IRA contribution on that side of things. So
I would love to think that every one of these podcasts are so informative. You go back and rewatch it time after time after time. If you're that person, you're probably my mother. But other than that, I don't see a lot of people doing that. So this is the part of the podcast I want to say gold nugget. This is a gold nugget tidbit. All of our advice is good, but this is a gold nugget tidbit. So what I would say is I get this question a lot. I get clients that make too much money to put into a Roth IRA. When you make, I know, poor baby. But when you make too much money, sometimes you don't qualify to put into a Roth IRA. What we could do is a backdoor Roth IRA, not to bog you down, or you could do a Roth IRA conversion. I've had this sometimes in my office, and this is a gold nugget tidbit. So take this to your CPA, or if you have your own advisor, ask him about this. If you get a refund and you have $10,000 in your IRA, let's say your refund's $2,000, convert that $10,000 in your IRA to a Roth IRA. It'll be taxable. It's no different than getting a $10,000 bonus at work. It'll be taxable. Use your $2,000 refund. Mike, you're making me pay my... Yes, I just turned $10,000 that was going to be taxable in the future, which if we have growth would grow to $20,000, $30,000, into a tax-free account just using the refund that you're already getting. I'm not saying use all of your refund, but if you got a $6,000 or $7,000 refund, convert $10,000, $15,000 to a Roth IRA. In 10 or 20 years, that's going to at least double, if not quadruple in size. Now you got a $40,000 tax-free account. The other thing, and last but not least, this is part of the gold nugget. The other reason you want Roth IRAs instead of regular IRAs and 401ks is RMDs.
Yeah.
Casey, at 73 years old, people don't know this, and it goes to 74, I think in 2035, but at 73 years old, you have to take money out of your retirement account. Well, I don't need it. I don't want this money. It's taxable. The IRS is like, give me. Yeah. I don't care. You've been in this thing for 50 years.
You haven't had to pay taxes on it yet. Now they want it.
Do you know what that does? That makes your Social Security taxable. If you make more than $32,000, I think right now, while you're retired as a married couple, your Social Security gets taxed. IRA distributions. This is the biggest. IRA distributions count towards your Social Security taxation. You know what doesn't? Roth IRA distributions, because they're tax-free. You can pull $100,000 out of your Roth IRA and say, I can't touch my Social Security. So again, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Casey, on that, but the Roth conversion, not enough people talk about. I would convert everything I can absolutely afford into a Roth, because I don't see a lot of, with a $39 trillion debt in this country, I don't see a lot of things that the government's going to give us tax-free. Anyway, sorry. Now I'll get off my
that's
soapbox.
Exactly right.
I wanted to kind of get into starting early, but I think this is because for time. One of the things I was talking about was Social Security. This last January 5th, 6th, the government passed the Windfall Act of Social Security. I won't go into the whole details of it, but how important is Social Security and some of the financial plans, Social Security planning, and some of the plans that you do for people?
No, I think it's very important because you want to understand when's the most opportune time to take that. If I take it early, I'm reducing, my benefit. Do I wait and get that 8%, growth on my Social Security benefit up till 70? These are things that we help our clients figure out so that they're maximizing their benefit, but also making sure that they don't run out of money. That is the number one concern with most retirees is, do I have enough and am I going to run out of money? Well, figuring out when to make that Social Security benefit start is one of the key ways that we give you that peace of mind.
So one of the things that I get is, well, Mike, I'm retiring, I'm 60 years old, I want my Social Security at 62. Okay. First thing I ask, are you married? And then the next thing I ask is, why do you not like your wife? Well, what do you mean? Okay. Because at 62, you're only going to get 35% of what your Social Security was going to be. That's okay. I'm going to die at 76. I get that all the time. We're in Texas. I get it. We all eat chicken fried everything. I'm with you. I get it. But I get that all the time. And then the clients come in, it goes up by 8% every year that you wait. Well, I don't care, Mike. I want it at 62. Okay. If you wait till 66, that $2,000 check you were going to get is going to be somewhere around $3,000 just by waiting 4 years. It's our job to fill in that gap. By the way, at 66, it's probably going to be taxable because, like I said before, who can live on $32,000 a year? So at 66, you're going to start your Social Security. Well, why am I going to do that? Because, Mr. Jones, I get that you're going to die at 72, but guess what happens when you die? Your Social Security benefit goes over to your wife at the whatever limit you started at. That's what you get. So you got it at 62 and you're only getting $2,000 a year. You die at 70. Your poor wife, she lives to 95 and all she's getting is $2,000 a month, where if you would have took it at 66, she would have got $3,000 a month. We've got to get out of this fixation of our Social Security, especially as men. When is it best for me to take it? We make more money now. Give a little bit up now between the ages of 62 and 66 if you can. And play the odds that one of you is going to live to 85, 90 years old.
Yeah.
Now, if you're both smokers and eat chicken pot pie, everything, okay. Anyway, I don't mean to make fun of bad lifestyle choices, but it is what it is. 70 is the max that you could take it. I've had some clients wait till then, but again, it's more than just on your life. I don't think enough people realize there's the widow benefit. The spousal benefit that kicks over at death. So the other thing is, what am I remembering here? The spousal benefit. We just talked about it. Spousal benefit, my wife didn't work. Well, my wife stayed home with the kids, or she worked a little bit, but she didn't make enough Social Security, so we're not even going to ask about her. True fact, and I'll make this quick, I believe it's on divorced as well. So if you were married for 10 years, you're divorced, but you were married to that gentleman for 10 years, you can claim what they call the spousal benefit. What that means is once your ex-husband that you were married to at least 10 years or your current husband hits full retirement age, if you're the same age, you get up to 50% of what his check is. So if his check's $3,000, you get a check for $1,500. Well, I never worked. Y'all had the same tax return. You lived together. Y'all were married 10 years. I had one client, no kidding, had 3 different husbands. I'm like, what were you doing? 3 different husbands, all 3 she was married to for longer than 10 years. I know, crazy. And I said, you just got to go to the Social Security office and see which one has the higher Social Security, and that's the one that you pick. And that's what she did. She goes, at least I got something out of the deadbeat. I digress. But I don't think enough financial advisors, Casey, not to sound like a commercial, really use Social Security in their retirement planning. Or why is it such a big deal when to take it and when not to take it?
Yeah.
It can mean the difference between $200,000 to $300,000 over you and your wife's lifetime, just with the simple decision of going to the Social Security office too early. So I'm going to let you kind of wrap up, because I did do a lot of the talking, which I apologize. I'm going to let you wrap up with what you think a really good young retirement plan looks like, what's inside of it, and why it is successful.
Yeah, so for the younger clients who are just getting started, the biggest thing that we talked about at the beginning, maximize what your employer is willing to contribute to that 401k, taking care of that. Then we're looking at what other room do you have in your budget to start a Roth IRA, or if we're looking to try to buy a house in the future. Whatever that next goal is, we need to start putting funds towards that. And so those are the two key things. But it really is reviewing your budget, making sure you're not outliving or not outspending your life, and really, like I said, paying yourself.
Paying yourself first, your bill.
So,
well, this is Mike Hill
and Casey Harding
with Money Matters with Hill Financial Group. Please leave comments up below. Click the website. We got more podcasts coming. Thank you for viewing. We look forward to bringing you many more. Thank you.